So this is a mom blog. Well, I became an empty nester officially August 2021. My name is Tyra. Um, I live in Tennessee, and like I said, I became an empty nester in August 2021 when I dropped off my second son at college. I have an older son who is a senior this year, and um, yeah, so this morning I'm really just here to kind of talk to myself because I haven't yet found anyone else to talk to about this. Um, but empty nesterhood is proven to be more difficult than I thought it would be. And to a certain degree, it kind of reinforces my thoughts of um, older women don't do a good job of talking to younger women when younger women want to hear because it's a lot of young women, I'm just putting it out here, who, you can't really tell young people anything. I'll say it that way. Some of them you can, but, you know, I guess it's that phase of life. They're trying to figure themselves out, and the less input from adults they get, the better. And it's just how it is for a lot of young people. Um, I guess with my mom dying when I was 27, I was a little bit more open to hearing. Though I feel like, and I might be wrong, but I feel like um, a lot of the views that I have held, there's not a lot of people in my life who understand. So, like when I was wanting to breastfeed, I really had to go find people in my life, in the world, who were into breastfeeding because it's just not like people didn't care if you breastfed or not. It was just like one and the same, the bottle and the breast. um, because that's what the generations before me largely felt. Although my mother, before she died, she emphasized breastfeed your children. And probably because my mom emphasized that and she died of breast cancer, um, breastfeeding was very important. So, or, like I, with my mom dying at 27, when I was 27, she was 50 when she died. It's like a hole was put there, and it's been lonely. It's been really, really lonely. I found ways to manage and, you know, to, navigate this journey, losing my mom at 27 when I was 27. And so, but there's always been this thing of, man, I wish I had somebody who loved me like that, like a mom loves a child. And not everybody feels that way because unless they've been through it, they don't understand. And so that's the kind of mom, or losing my mom made me go all into being a mom. Um, I'm not saying that I was the best mom. I will say that I was a really good mom who did a lot to really just pour into my children to make sure I was there. And so, I chose the path of staying at home and homeschooling my children. Um, and going into empty nesterhood is coming out of, it's like two times rebirth. This is one of the reasons why I think it's been a little harder for me is my second son graduated during the pandemic. And so the work I was doing before, which was dance and fitness, went away and I didn't want to go back to it anyway. Um, and so, yeah, I have started empty nesterhood, in isolation. My husband is staying with his dad. This has been about 5 months now. And helping his dad, who's, you know, older and needs care. And, I'm just grateful that he gets to go and take care of his dad like that instead of dad having to be in a nursing home. Um, so it's like, man, for real isolation. only time here with my thoughts and my truth and my reality. So, you know, I'm very respectful, but I feel like an idiot. So I love my children, I love my nieces, I love my nephews. I sort of felt, and if like one of my aunts were to see this video, which I don't even know how they could see this video, but if they were to see this video, I felt a little abandoned by my aunts, though I know I pushed my aunts away. Um, one aunt, like her religion interfered with my ability to process and heal with my mom because I needed to believe I had access to my mom. Like, I probably need to do some healing work around this 'cause after my mom died, I would smell flowers, after you get all the flowers after someone dies. Um, and so those flowers became associated because I lived in the house where my mother died. My mom died at home, and we had all the flowers there. And I am spiritually sensitive. Like, I've always been really attuned to spirit and spirits and psychic energy and stuff like that. And, I was born to be spiritually the way that I am, which is not religious like a lot of people in my family. But this scent of the flowers became associated with my mom because I could smell this scent like anywhere, like not at home, anywhere I was out and about. And it just became very comforting because I felt like it was my mom around me. And I talked to one of my aunts and she was like, "That's not your mama. Your mom is somewhere asleep," like so definitive. So it was like I didn't feel comfortable talking. Like my aunts did loving things for me or whatever. And one of my aunts would she couldn't even be there because she had a surgery of some sort. Um, it's no telling. The 3rd aunt, I stayed connected to a little bit, but I sort of feel abandoned by her in these last few years, like, I don't talk to her. When I try to reach out and contact her, I don't hear back from her, but who knows what it is. But it made me realize and the other aunt who couldn't be at my mom's funeral or whatever, like, this is an aunt who has done really well with just honoring me the way that I am, and she's very supportive. She has her own daughters, and so, there's a need that she has fulfilled through her own children and I just, I wasn't raised up, like, right with her. She's lived away, um, so I have a special connection with her. It's just not like, you know, regular communication happens, personal communication or whatever. Love my aunts, appreciate my aunts. I know I pushed them away, especially once I started changing spiritually because I didn't really know how to have those kinds of conversations with them, and it's hard for me to lie about who and what I am, and so I take responsibility for not having as deep of a relationship with my aunts as maybe I could have had I not pushed them away when I first started changing spiritually or evolving spiritually. And so, um, and I know I have not been the most plugged in aunt. Like my older brother's children, I did spend quite a bit, well, really with both of my brother's children, I've spent some good time with them. Spent the most time with my husband's niece, just because I live closer to his family. All this to say is I had made a choice that I was going to be an all in kind of aunt too, all in kind of mom, all in kind of aunt. And so, you know, once young people start growing up and making decisions like, you know, well, they're just living their lives and they don't need you. It's something to face and deal with. Combine that with, I'm going from homeschooling to a new career because I'm not going to go back to the old one. I'm establishing a new career. Um, And all of this has happened in the midst of the pandemic, isolation, all that kind of good stuff. It's just one big pot of oh, it's hard. It feels hard. And I don't want to say it is hard. And so I don't really know what this journey has for me right now. Um, I just have made a decision today that I am gonna I d that th you know, I remember when my children were young, I was like, "I will change before I ask them to change," because I felt like they were more of who and what they really were. They had more innocence about them than I did. I felt like even though I can't fully see all of my programming, I honestly believe I am so flawed that I really need to take time to, at times, let them lead in terms of like who's going to change is not going to be them, it's going to be me. And I always felt like I need to be the adult in the room and not, I don't know, I just never really I'm not saying I was perfect, but my main goal was let them be who they are, and I will shift myself in order to support that process. And so, and I, I had my kids know they were to be disciplined, and I would offer them guidance when they really needed it. Don't get me wrong. But there were times when I knew this is really just me making a choice that this is what they should do versus what um what should really happen, right? Or what could allow to happen. Just let them be who they are. And so that's the position I'm gonna take as I transition into empty nesterhood. I have to accept that I am no longer needed in any way other than what they show. I can offer love and kindness. I can love my children, my nieces and my nephews with every fiber of my heart and soul, and I can just be on the periphery of their lives. I don't have to be important to them. I don't have to be important to them. And I have to accept that maybe they come to me if they need some guidance, maybe they don't. And if they come to me, largely when they need me and that's it, it's like just I get to choose how I show up for that. But nobody owes me anything. And the ones who are most connected, that's who I'm just going to be connected to. If they don't engage, it's okay. I love them anyway. And this is an opportunity because, I teach NLP, and one thing that is for sure is that only I hold the power in my life. I am at first cause. If I feel shitty as a empty nester, it's only my fault. It's on me. It's my responsibility to do something about it, and that's what I'm gonna do. It's part of the reason I'm making this video. But I'm also making this video, if you find it, to let you know that if it's hard for you, and I don't know everyone's position, I've slowly but surely started talking to some women who are a little bit further down the road. Because to me, there's the ones who are like, girl, get over it. What are you talking about? I love this. Oh, great. That's wonderful. It's a whole bunch of us out here that's really different. But if it's um but it there I want to be the mom who says to you if you are struggling, because that's the only reason you're watching this video, is that um yes, empty nester is hard. I thought I had done my research, but I don't think I knew what to ask. I don't even think I knew to ask. I could sense as it got closer to the time for my younger son to graduate that I was like, "I better find something to do with myself." I didn't quite anticipate the, pandemic coming, um, which actually allowed me to make a shift that was gonna happen in terms of career because I was not gonna keep teaching dance and fitness into my 50s. It's not what I desire to do at all. And so, but I knew it was something. I was like, "I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do because 'cause I've been homeschooling for so long." And so, I launched a business and, what has happened is I've, like, over immersed myself in my business, and in a way, it's a choice that I'm making is, well, what am I gonna do with all of this energy that I have poured into being a mom and have, used towards my nieces and my nephews? What am I gonna do with this? And I'm still committed to pouring it into my business, but I wanna do it in a way that's more like, this is what I want to do instead of me running from the pain of being an empty nester. It's very painful. It feels, let me not say it is. It feels very painful for me right now. Um, and, ugh, so my thing right now is just to face it. I see it as a grieving, and I just wanna share share because somebody out there, like, I remember saying, "I'm gonna start, um, keeping up with the things that I've done, with these transitions that nobody told me was gonna happen." And when people wanna know, I don't have to try to remember. I have cataloged it. So that's largely what this video is me cataloging, um, this journey I have been making through these different phases of life. Because this one is hard. It's way harder than I knew. And like I said, I was watching the older women when I was in my 40s, and I remember it was like they seemed very centered in who they are, and I used to say when I was teaching fitness, I so love the 50 plus women, really 40, 50, and to a certain degree, the early 60s especially, um, because they were the best in terms of, like, coming to class. They were so, like, regular because they're done raising children and, um and now that I'm older at this point, it's like, yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, it's very easy to have all kinds of things go wrong with the body. Um, and I did focus on, I remember all of that, and now I'm like, "Okay, I see why they did it." And now I'm that one who is pretty regular showing up for classes and things like that. 50s is something I really like. I like being in my 50s. I do. I don't feel old, but I do feel more settled and more, um, like, I don't know. I've done a lot of healing work. I'm not going to lie. So I feel more settled and I feel more, uh, like I know who I am. And, yeah. So I'll just have to find a different way to channel this energy and figure out my life and um just accept. That's a big word that I'm dealing with right now. Releasing resistance to the pain, releasing resistance to the grief, letting it all come forth. And at the same time, moving into acceptance of this new phase in my life. And yeah. So if you are like me, you're sitting around like, I don't know what to do. You're not alone. Even if you watch this video 10 years from the date that it's made, which is why I'm making it. So if I die, somebody may find this video and get help from it. Doesn't matter when you find it. Just know you're not alone. there's a lot of us who probably have gone through this and just didn't tell anybody because people see tears and sadness and grief as weak, or it's just not well accepted. We don't have female rites of passages where the old women bring you in and say, "It's gonna be okay, baby." So I'm just gonna say it to you. And I don't care that I'm crying on some public channel. This is a message that needs to go out. This is a message that needs to go out. That we need to do more. We need to do more. So this just gave me an idea. I run women's circles. I think I'm gonna start one for 50 plus women. I really been feeling like I want to niche down to 50 plus women, but shoot, I gotta figure this out for myself. I'm real good with the 40 plus. That was a hard time for me too, because I went through perimenopause. I am so glad that I have gotten through that. At least I did that while my kids were home, even though I'm sure they thought I was a lunatic. Uh, and yeah, so I'm good with helping the 40 pluses for sure. I got to figure out 50. I do appreciate there's been a few 50 plusers who have offered me words. I'm probably going to reach out to one today and just let her know, man, I'm struggling with this empty nester life. And she's not much older than me, maybe a year, but she had her children younger than me. So she's a grandma and everything. She's already, you know, gotten further down the path in several ways. And so I just need to embrace my life. That's what I feel I really need to do is embrace my new life and figure out what am I going to do and where am I going to go. Just know I'm here for you, even if you don't know me. We are united in spirit, sister. Mwah. Peace and love. Thanks for hearing me.